Good evening. My name is Alexander Hagan. I'm the CEO of a small, medium-sized tech company in Silicon Valley. Previously, I was a financial journalist and a financial analyst and a research engineer. Tonight, I would like to speak to you about the fact that the United States has effectively declared war on Syria, incredibly, on the first day of Ramadan. So there's a New York Times article. It says, Stymied at UN, U.S. refines plan to remove Assad. Now, what's very important is to look at the newspeak change even while it's occurring, as George Orwell said. It actually is titled, the article, U.S. to focus on forcibly toppling Syrian government. So the U.S. position has gone from attempting to use legal mechanisms to intervene in the Syrian conflict to now staging a war of destabilization, directly funding the opposition to bring down the government, without regard for international law or protocols, which is something we've been doing, but has been extremely shocking how Obama has pursued it compared to his campaign rhetoric. So it says here the Obama administration has for now abandoned efforts for a diplomatic settlement to the conflict in Syria, and instead it is increasing aid to the rebels and redoubling efforts to rally a coalition of like-minded countries to forcibly bring down the government of President Bashar al-Assad, American officials say. Administration officials have been in talks with officials in Turkey and Israel over how to manage a Syrian government collapse. It is incredible hubris, such a statement, but I shall not editorialize again until we finish. Defense Secretary Leon E. Panetta is headed to Israel in the next several days to meet with Israeli defense counterparts. They go through the plans of warring sides, trying to limit atrocities on both sides. Let's see here. This is discussion about an Israeli attack, but that they think that might backfire because of the perception of Israeli interference. It's really quite incredible, this article. Administration officials insist they'll not provide arms. That's for Turkey, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar to do. So if I may editorialize, the Gulf states and Saudi Arabia over the last 2 years have purchased an enormous amount of U.S. weaponry. I would estimate in the last 3 years about $150 billion in U.S. weaponry. Now, what we see has happened since then, other than a very aggressive posture towards Iran, is the attack on Libya, where the same mechanics were used. The U.S. provided the drones, the logistics, the satellites, the CIA, the communication systems, the intelligence, and the Qataris brought in the weapons. The U.S. brought in small amounts of special forces, British small amounts, French small amounts, Dutch small amounts, 20 men on the ground over here, 20 over there. It's not serious. But every NATO country had these, and they were with support staff and all of that. It would have probably amounted to 1,000 people. But the Qataris claim they had people on the ground at all times. So what's happening here is that the Saudi, Qatari, Gulf states are in an alliance with the United States to both of them have a greater sphere of influence in the region, and in a sense giving a cut to Israel as well. So as Libya is, it was attempted to muscle Libya into a pro-Qatari government. We'll see what happens, but the Islamists, who the Qataris were favoring, have not done well in the Libyan elections. Of course, the loyalists aren't even allowed to run. So they've probably voted for Jibril, who's a former economist for Gaddafi, who's running the inheritor of the Transitional National Council, the National Forces Alliance, which is an alliance of a large number of different smaller parties that were forming up. So what we have here is a major change in U.S. policy from one of coordinating humanitarian resolution with the Syria crisis to one out-and-out calling for regime change, with the U.S. effectively declaring war if we had the stomach to do it. You're free to read the New York Times article yourself. I'll post the hyperlink here. My name is Alexander Hagan. Good night and good luck.